Graham Rawlins with News Geelong. Women in leadership within our community is being mentored by current lady leaders as a means of creating more interest for the females of our community to be involved in future directions. We continue to be water wise with the development of a new water tank system to service Armstrong Creek with recycled water. From the world of sport, we look at the great spectacle expected tomorrow night with the annual running of the Geelong Pacing Cup and the McNamara Memorial Trotters Cup at Beckley Park. While from the weather world, we'll update you on the Geelong and Surf Coast area weather forecast expected over the next 6 days. Geelong is the hub of the National Emergency Call Centre. Located in the top story of a major Geelong office complex on the Geelong waterfront, again outlining the significant advantages that Central Geelong offers, as Meryl Friend reports.
Very few Geelong residents would realise that in Brome Street we have an emergency call centre. Some 50 staff members are there on call 24/7 whenever there's an emergency, human disaster or natural disaster. And we were able to speak with the Human Services Minister Brendan O'Connor and Richard Marles, Federal Member for Corio. And we're here at the call centre in Geelong, the only one that goes for 24/7.
Yes, this is a magnificent effort again by the staff from Geelong, a call centre dedicated to providing support for Australians in need, whether it be natural disaster like bushfires and floods, whether it be even the evacuating or assisting and providing advice to people who may have to evacuate another country, as was the case in 2006 when Australian citizens were asked to evacuate Lebanon. This call centre has been there providing that support. And I think people have to remember that, of course, there'll be all sorts of specialists dedicated and deployed to areas that have been hit by natural disasters. But then there are these people, the staff on the phones, taking very difficult calls on many occasions, providing advice, but also providing support. And in recent days, we've seen this staff, the staff here and this centre, provide support and assistance to those people who've been victims of the floods in northern New South Wales and southwest Queensland, in towns like Roma, St George, Mitchell, Moree in New South Wales. Staff from this office in Geelong have been making sure that the recovery payments are into the bank accounts of those people as quickly as possible. So I just wanted to be here with Richard to come here to see how the operation works, and indeed to thank the staff for providing such important support for Australians in need.
A lot of Geelong people wouldn't even realise this facility was here.
Oh, that's exactly right, Meryl. I think this is one of the most unheralded contributions Geelong really makes to the country. And I first learned about this actually during last year's floods, and talking to Tanya Plibersek, who was then the Minister for Human Services, and she was raving about the contribution that this call centre made to the national effort in relation to the floods. And what Brendan said is absolutely right. There are specialist people on the ground who are doing fantastic work, but the calls that are being taken here and the support that's being provided here is its own contribution as well. And so it was a real pleasure for me last year to highlight some of this, the work of these people in the federal parliament. But you know, they're taking calls from all around Australia. They're taking calls at times from Australians all around the world. They're dealing with the most difficult calls you can imagine, and they're dealing with them in a very professional and compassionate way. And all of us here in Geelong should feel very proud.
From the Emergency Call Centre in Geelong, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. Is 2012 the year for change? Have any of you lady viewers thought about standing for local council? The Wild Women of Geelong, that is, Women in Local Democracy, are presenting a major forum to create the interest that could see more ladies involved in our future directions. Meryl Friend reports.
We're at City Hall with the Wild Women, Women in Local Democracy, and we're trying to get more women involved with local council.
We're running a forum for women who are thinking of standing in the council elections, which is the last weekend in October this year. And we're inviting women across the municipality and across the region to come and get some information, hear what it's like to be a councillor, and also we're doing some work with women's leadership in that, and we have Gail Tierney, who's an upper house Victorian parliamentarian, to come and talk to us about women's leadership in general.
So what's the date and location of that?
The date is Monday the 5th of March. We'll be at Courthouse Arts, which is across the road from City Hall. We are taking registrations now. The timing is 5:30 to 8:30, and we're hoping that a whole range of women from across the municipality come and hear about women in leadership and hear about, get some information about standing for council. And we're well supported by a group of women in Geelong called the Women in Local Democracy Forum. And as you can see, they're supporting us here today with this information. And amongst those women, we have 3 ex-councillors, including 2 ex-mayors. And these women see it as really important to produce more diversity around women's representation at council.
So what would you say was the thing that you most enjoy about that sort of work and what people should know about counselling?
I think the most enjoyable is working with the community and hearing what their concerns are and trying to do the right thing by them. And that, I think, is a great advantage, just to be part of that community and working for it.
So people will be able to speak with you at the forum as well?
Oh, absolutely. I'll be there as part of the panel, I guess, to be consulted if necessary.
From City Hall in Johnson's Park, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. Maybe future Mayor Meryl. The Youth Impetus Award nominations are up and running for 2012, covering an increased range of areas that Geelong youth are heavily involved, either as an individual or as part of a team. Meryl Friend has more.
Nominations are now open for the City of Greater Geelong's 2012 Impetus Youth Awards. We were able to catch up with Councillor Jan Farrell.
We have a whole lot of categories. This year it's about 13, and we ask anyone who lives, works, plays or educates in Geelong to think about nominating a friend, someone in their family, teachers, whoever's working with young people, to nominate a young person to the awards.
And youth goes up to what age these days?
In our world, it keeps changing, so the current thinking is 10 to 25. Our awards are in that we don't exclude anybody, and as I said, it's for anyone who has an involvement in Geelong. It's not excluding any of the young people that have Geelong as part of their life.
Yeah, well, it was a great time. It made all the work that I've done in the past certainly worthwhile. To get the award, I guess it started off doing just little things in the community, then it became up to doing a homeless project, which was based on the homeless and filming them.
Where did you first become inspired to do this sort of work?
Well, it started in Youth Foundations Victoria. A man named Rob Evans came to my school when I was in Year 8. And then it kind of went from there. I got into Youth Foundations, which we grant out money to youth in the North Ballerine. And then from there I started to get involved in local youth groups. Then I applied for a grant from Youth Foundations and got $3,000 to do a film on homelessness. And then from there, after kind of making a bit of a film, I went on and did a film project in the potato shed here. And this was to teach younger youth how to make films. So we had lots of support from local businesses, TV Stream and the Potato Shed to run this event, which was ballerine students. It was about 10, 15 of them. And we made a film that day and had a local event afterwards and screened the film.
From the Potato Shed in Drysdale, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. As we go to a break on this Friday edition of News Geelong, don't forget you can Twitter us on our Twitter account at News Geelong 31 with your thoughts and comments. We'll be back with more news after this.